Hey everyone, welcome to episode 50, the Big 50, with my guest here, Katie Brinkley. Katie, how you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. For those of you that don't know, she's the founder of Next Step Social Communication out of in Denver. She helps local businesses add clients, increase revenue, and grow by providing area-specific social media, paid traffic, and marketing services. But what many people don't know, well, I guess if you watch a lot of sports, if you look back, she actually did covering for pro sports with the Broncos, Rockies, and doing sales and marketing for them and all that good stuff. So thank you so much for coming on, and we're gonna talk a little bit about social media. How you do it for the local folks out there. I actually had my bachelor party in Denver, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
It was a good time. Yeah, I'm in South Florida. I'm in South Florida, and everybody was like, "Where are you gonna have your bachelor party?" Now, keep in mind, I didn't get married until I was already like 30. What is it? 38? Yeah, 38 or 37, one of the two. And I was like, I just want to take it easy. I just want to go with a few of my boys, go to the breweries, just chill. And that's what we did. And I was like, well, why don't you just go to South Beach? I'm like, dude, I live here. South Beach is nothing new to me. I'm not 20 anymore, And we had an amazing time. We hit all the breweries downtown, stay there, had great food. It was a good time. It was a lot of fun for sure. Before we get into the whole social media side of things and talk shop, as some will say. Why don't we talk a little bit about your background? So how did you get started? How did you end up on TV? I'm assuming you're a sports fanatic.
I actually still am a huge sports nut. I have a podcast that I co-host with a guy from Scotland, and we talk about NFL. So we do that twice a week. I'm a huge sports nut, and that's what I thought I was going to be when I grew up. That's what I went to school for. I wanted to be, here in Denver, she's pretty well known, but I wanted to be the next Susie Wargin she was a big sports radio person here in Colorado. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be on air, be that female voice covering sports. And that's what I thought I was going to be. So I went to school in Durango, and it was a small school that allowed me a lot of opportunities. I played softball there, and it allowed me the opportunity to work at the radio station. So it was great. I was a sports and news reporter, and I was one of the music directors. And while I was there,
how did you get the gig at the radio station that young? How you just applied for it? It was an internship type of deal. How did you get that?
Yeah, it was, so at the college radio station, it was something that you applied for, and you were either accepted or you weren't. And once I was accepted as a freshman. And so once I was in, I was kind of in for the rest of the time I was at school there. And like I said, I wanted to be I wanted to be on air, and I wanted to talk sports. And while I was there, I was also doing a lot of music stuff. So this was back, not to date myself too much, but this was back when MySpace was really big. And that's how I connected with I've connected with a lot of bands on MySpace, and like Yellow Card. I don't know if you're familiar with punk bands at all, but Yellow Card, Thrice, Fall Out Boy, a lot of those bands were just kind of up and coming back when I was at school, and connected through MySpace, and really kind of just always was doing social media just for fun,
right.
for them, kind of connecting them with other bands and marketers, and trying to just help them, because I kind of understood the benefits of social media and how far it could take you. So I was doing it just for fun. I thought I was going to be the next Susie Wargin or Erin Andrews, and graduated, got a job at KOA, doing sports. And I had my dream job, so I thought, and then my paychecks started coming in, and they were really, really small.
Really?
And I had no health care. I was working weird hours, and I was like, this kind of sucks. So I was like, well, until I can get like more on air time, I'm going to need to put my time in a small market. And so I started applying for these jobs, and in the interim, while I was looking for more airtime in a smaller market, one of my friends said, hey, you should be a flight attendant. I was like, why would I? That is nothing that I want to do at all. Why would I want to be a flight attendant? And she said, well, it might just be good for you for interview purposes. You could just practice interviewing. And so I was like,
That's
okay,
random.
I guess I'll go for an interview. Well, I got the job, and I was like, well, this is more money than I'm making at the station. I could still do this and look for my dream radio career. Well, 7 years later, I finally left being a flight attendant. And
oh my God, you did it for 7 years?
I did. And you know what? I have to tell you, it was a total sidetrack, something I never thought I'd be doing. But it was perfect for when I was in my 20s, kid-free, traveling around the United States.
Obviously
Mexico,
the perks of being a flight attendant, because I have a friend of mine who travels literally the whole world. And when she's on a layover, or whatever you guys call it, she goes to like the coolest places, but I can't imagine, like, I'm not afraid of flying. Like, I don't mind it, but I'm so ADD. I don't know if you can call it, it's not even real ADD. I just say that because I can't sit still. Like, just knowing that I have to sit in a plane for 3 hours. And even if I have a laptop or my phone, something to keep, even if I'm watching a TV show, I'm counting down the minutes until I can get off that plane, just because I just want to get there. So I couldn't imagine being a flight attendant and being flying all day long in the plane. Like, I know you're doing your job, right? So you're doing your thing, but I don't know. I couldn't do it. There's no way. It's like, I don't know. I can't do it. It would drive me insane.
Well, that's why I only lasted for 7 years.
That's a long time.
It was something that... It is. But it was cool. I got to go to, I got to spend, New Year's in New York, so yeah. I got to go do that one time. And another time I was in New York City for my birthday, and I had like a 30-hour layover, and my best friend was on the trip with me. And so she and I went and saw like a Broadway show. For my birthday. It was incredible. I got to spend, Christmas in Cancun, and he was my boyfriend at the time, my now husband, was able to come with me on my trip and go to Cancun for Christmas. There was a lot of cool parts of it, but again, it was something that I never really wanted to do. Right. I wasn't a lifer. I wanted to go back out there. I wanted to be back in sports because I was so passionate about sports. I love talking sports. If you want to talk sports right now, we can totally shift the podcast to that.
Oh, I'm like not a sports person at all. The only thing I watch is like I have teams that I follow. I went to Florida State before I dropped out. So, that's like religion over there. So I do watch the games when they're on, and that's it. If you ask me what the roster is, the players or any of that stuff, I won't be able to answer those questions, but I'll drink with you and have a great time at the bar watching it. I lived in Texas for 10 years. So, if you lived in Dallas for 10 years, you have to be a Cowboys fan. So I guess then NFL, my teams are the Cowboys and the Patriots, just because one of my best friends, he's been a Patriots fan his whole life. He's from New England. So it's kind of like, I grew up around both. So if the Cowboys are not playing, it's the Patriots, even if they don't have Tom Brady anymore, right? Again, I can't name all the players. I don't know the stats. I don't listen, it's like, if it's on in a social setting at a bar, or we make plans to go to the bar, I'll drink with you all day and watch 10 games, right? And have a good time. But I'm not the type of person who sits at home and follows the stats and all that crazy stuff, which it's crazy how some of my friends like follow all this stuff. I'm like, dude, how do you know this? And it's cool. People are passionate about it,
Yep. And and that's the thing is that's what I wanted to do, is I wanted to be talking sports, be around it, and watch as much as I could for it and get paid for watching them. And so I kind of was thinking, it's time for me to get back into what I went to school for, back into journalism. In some regards. I've been out of the media game for a while. What other ways could I go back into the sports industry? And I ended up getting what I thought was now my new dream job. I was the marketing manager at the television station for the Colorado Rockies. So, I was writing radio scripts, and I was doing media buys, and I was handling, again, the social media, and able to do all that around sports still. I was able to go to the Rockies games on my lunch break and watch, a few innings of baseball, then head back over to the office. It was awesome. And then I got laid off.
Yeah.
I was absolutely devastated. I had an amazing boss. I loved my coworkers. I loved what I did. Everything about it was perfect for me. But as with any merger goes, my position was eliminated throughout the entire company. So, I mean, it's not like it was just me. All marketing managers were let go. And so after finding out that I was laid off, 2 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. So I was like, well, this is even worse. Now I have no job.
Oh my God. Don't let your child watch this.
Yeah. Thanks for hiring me. By the way, I'm going to be going on maternity leave for 6 months. So, So it caused me to kind of go and sit back and think, like, gosh, what could I do? How can I still try and bring in income? And I was like, well, I've always been doing social media just on the side, just to help out, just because I've always just kind of got it. And so I started freelancing, and one client turned into two, turned into three. And then before I knew it, I was able to work 20 hours a week, making what I was making at my dream job at the TV station before.
Absolutely.
And so I was like, well, this is amazing. And so, it's been 4 years now of having my own company, and I have a number of women that I employ to do different aspects of the social media for me. And I also have started, especially with 2020 and the pandemic, I've been teaching a lot of people in the home industry and small business owners how to do social media themselves, because we've all found that we're awarded this gift of time in 2020 to spend more time at home. And a lot of small business owners have realized, I know social media is important. I either don't have the budget for it, or want to do it myself anyways. And so I teach them how to do social media the right way for their businesses.
See, I hate that answer though, when somebody says I don't have the money for it. Like, that's just an excuse, because you can literally be posting all day long and you'll get some type of organic reach. You'll get something out of it. The problem is that most people are lazy. I can tell you right now, if you're watching this on YouTube, my channel's not even monetized. I don't think I'm at 970 subscribers or something like that. And it's been less than a year. So technically I haven't made a penny out of my YouTube channel. But technically, I've made over 6 figures out of my YouTube channel just from people finding me through YouTube. So do the math there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to put content out there. And if you're consistent about it, right now I'm kind of slacking because I'm way too busy with clients and my own stuff, and it's fourth quarter and it's insane. So instead of 3 videos a week, I'm doing 2 just because I don't have the time. But it's consistency. I know you guys hear it all the time. People hear it all the time, but it goes through one ear and out the other. If you're consistent, you're not going to see anything for a while. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're going to see a spike of your content getting out there. And that's when you reap the rewards, right?
Exactly.
So when I hear people tell me, oh, I don't have the budget or blah, 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 I'm a small business, like, you should be posting literally 10 times a day of what you're doing, documenting what you do all day long. Just be a little bit creative with it. And then, eventually people are going to find you, and then you'll have the budget. And then that's when you pour the gasoline onto the fire and take it to the next level. So when you're doing with why are you doing local only though? You're doing only local, correct?
So I specialize in the Denver area mostly for my done for you clients, because I have my team that I can send out and help with the photography, that can help with the designing, and can sit down and we can go and back before COVID, primary, reason was so that we could meet face to face, have those type of interactions, and get the type of content that really will help your business grow. Those pictures are so important, and their stock images are only going to get you so far. Like, you wondering why people aren't engaging with your posts, it's because they've seen that stock image 100 times before. It's nothing new to them. And so if you really want to try and grow your business and grow your brand, having those images and that content that's really fresh makes a big difference. So that's where helping people in the Denver area is definitely what I've been doing for my done for you social media clients. But the code, like I was saying before, the 2020s allowed me the opportunity to start growing my coaching business and teaching people how to do their own social media. And you can live anywhere to learn and do Zoom calls.
Yeah, I was looking at your Instagram account earlier, and it's literally on point. Like, I love how some of social media people, they design the brand, and like, I don't specialize on that. I specialize on like money in, money out. You know what I mean? I do branding and stuff like that, but the companies that I work with, they already figure all that out before they even get to me. So with me, it's mainly sales. But for example, I have a new partner now on a new brand that we just launched 2 weeks ago. And I was literally having a conversation earlier today with her about the Instagram account, how we need to make it, consistent, unique, niche down to the point. And we were talking about how to create, I was going through with her on how to make it look, with that color palette and all that good stuff. But I like yours. So if somebody is starting a Instagram account, I'm sure you have a better way of putting it than I do, because I'm like, just do this, do that, do this. So because I don't have to teach it to people. But if somebody comes up to you and they say, hey, Katie, what do I do with my Instagram account? What's your process like when you look at an Instagram account? It's like, okay, we need to get this in gear.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is one of the biggest mistakes that I see business owners making is thinking that they need to be on every social media channel known to mankind, especially when they're just starting out. And when you're on everything, then that ends up being too much, and nothing's going to be unique, nothing's going to stand out, and you're just going to be kind of throwing darts at the wall.
And it's a lot of work if you're starting out.
You have to, like what you were saying too.
It's a lot of work if you're starting out. If you don't have a team to do it for you. If you don't have a team to do it for you, forget it. You're not going to do it. So I tell people all the time, if you're starting out, pick the platform that matches what you do and what you feel more comfortable with. Concentrate on growing that one. And once you do, then you can hire a team to do the rest. Like, for example, me, I mostly do only YouTube. You go to my Facebook page, I don't post on there. Like, I don't have the time. Like, most of my people, they want to see me and do things and hear me out. I don't like writing. I can do copywriting for ads and sales funnels and all that stuff. So when I sit down, I can do it. But I don't like blogging. I'm not going to sit there and write a blog. I'd rather do it in front of the camera or audio. This is why I do a podcast. It's just easier for me. That's how I feel comfortable. And this is what I tell people. Pick one. And then once it takes off, then you can chop up all the content and then spread it out everywhere.
Well, that's perfect advice that you are giving. And I think too, know what channel makes the most sense for your brand. Know who your target audience is. If they're millennials, Instagram's going to be great for you. If you're targeting teens, TikTok's going to be great. And yes, I mean, you can create amazing content for TikTok only and succeed at it. If your demographic is older, Facebook could be great. And then if you're B2B, LinkedIn is invaluable. LinkedIn is a great spot to go and talk business. People are ready to do that there. But you have to realize that each of those social channels are unique in their own way. You can't just post the exact same thing on every single channel, because you're not going to be targeting the exact same audience on every single channel. A blog post might do amazing on LinkedIn, but then on Instagram, repurposing it as a microblog, have an incredible picture that's on brand, and a little microblog of your long blog, have the right hashtags in there, and engage with people on Instagram. I mean, Instagram by itself, if you want to go all in on Instagram, it's basically like 5 social media channels within itself, because you have Instagram Grid, Instagram Reels, IGTV, Instagram Live, and Instagram Stories. And you can't put the exact same type of content into all 5 of those streams. So having a different strategy for how you're going to post just within Instagram is a huge undertaking, and you have to do it the right way.
I'm the perfect example of what not to do. Like right now, I haven't set a team to like start chopping everything up and doing it for me. So up until now, it's all automated where like I put a YouTube video out and the links get posted everywhere. but that's not what you're supposed to do. What you're supposed to do is like chop that content and do it for each different channel. Guys, you got to remember, I can just run ads and get whatever I want. I mean, that's my special superpower. So it's not that big of a deal for me. And, you know, I'm at a point in my career and my company where I'm not, you know, desperate for business. Like I can't grow right now because I don't have the team in place to keep growing, and I don't want to just like rush into it. But that's the next step. I'm going to start, you know, doing that for more organic content. But if you want to do it right from the beginning, that's the way you should do it. Remember, I can run ads and get whatever I want. Most of you, 99% of you can't. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching this. So to grow organically, it's always better to grow organically first and then do the ads to grow even more. Now, remember, I do it backwards because that's how I started, with pure ads, you know? So,
well, and I think that what you said too is so important, because a lot of people will think on the ad side, especially with Facebook ads, it's like, well, I need to have a lot of followers. And so they're just trying to build up their company pages with all these followers, and it's just a vanity metric. It's if you only have 100 people that like your Facebook page, but they're all your ideal client, all you need is 100 people, and then maybe 101, and then maybe 102, because they're sharing with their friends. But everyone's engaging. That's way better and way more valuable than having 10,000 people that only 6 people engage with.
Yeah, so I have a saying that I've been saying forever to clients: like and shares don't equal dollars and cents, campaigns do. And it's better for you to have 1,000 hardcore followers than 20,000 who don't ever buy followers. That's the other thing. Don't ever buy followers. Don't ever buy likes. Don't do any of that stuff. Listen, the truth of the matter is that if I really wanted to blow up my channel right away, I know ways to grow the channel by paying for the traffic and growing the channel and get it monetized right away. I'm not going to name any names, but if you look at other content people that do what I do, you can go on socialblade.com, and it's pretty strange that they get 100 new followers every day for the past 6 months. Like, come on, you know, I mean, that gives it away. And there's no point, because now you're diluting your audience. It's not a real audience.
And that's so important what you just said. It's so important because someone can be, I actually just had someone reach out to me on my Instagram, and my Instagram is not, I mean, so for someone that does social media, I did not do my own company social media until the pandemic started. I had nothing. I didn't have any social media for myself because I was too busy with clients and doing social media for other people.
I was forced to make a website for my consulting because one of my clients that was referring me to other people was like, dude, please make a website so people can find you. I was like, all right, I'll have somebody do it. And that's how my first website was done. But I didn't have a website for the first 5 years. I just, you know, a website is just a website. I'm never going to run traffic to it. So it's just like, okay, I guess, you know, if people want to look me up, you know, now it doesn't matter because I'm all over the place. But, you know, back then, yeah, it's, you know, just get started, man. Just get started and start putting the pieces together as you go. It doesn't have to be perfect from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, if, like I said, if you have like someone reached out to me on Instagram and they're like, hey, you have a great page. I want to, you know, I'd like to help you grow it. And so I was like, okay, let's see what this guy's about. So I clicked it, and he has over 20,000 followers with 6 posts. So already that's something fishy. On every post, he has, he does have a lot of likes, but 0 comments. And all the comments that are on there are for either Bitcoin or, hey, let me help you grow your page. And that's the thing. If someone comes to you and says, hey, I want to grow your page, or let me help you that way, and you go do your research and see, okay, are people engaging with this person? And if they are, does it make sense, like with how many numbers of followers that they have and all that? Because that people do it all the time on Instagram, is they pay, you know, $100 and get 2,000 followers from Brazil and
Russia or India.
The second you do that,
it's like, come on,
all of your metrics are messed up. You don't know who you're. Yes, you don't know who you're talking to. What the best time of day to post is. What day of the week is the best day for you to post? Are your majority of your audience men or women? You're missing out on so much data because you bought followers, and it's such a lazy way of trying.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen. I tell them straight up, did you buy any followers or likes or any of that for Facebook or Instagram? Oh, no. I'm like, tell me the truth, because I can tell by looking at that account. Okay, maybe we did. Like, say, I'm like, you just screwed yourself, because I can actually use that data to create audiences and run ads. So now I can't. So guess what you're going to get to do today? You're going to get to unfollow all these people and kick them off your accounts. And you can only do, I think it's like 75 a day. So have fun with that. So we can rebuild everything back up with the real data. Yeah, you're just hurting yourself, you know?
And it's
no,
so
I was going to say that
because
your account, what I like about your Instagram account, we didn't get into it, but so if you were going to tell somebody how to build it, I like how you have the color palette and all that good stuff going on. It's like the theme. So how do you approach an account? Like, how do you put it together to make it look like this, basically, when you're talking to a client?
So what we do is we get started at Square. I assume everyone's at Square Zero, even if they already have a page set up, because you need to go back and try and kind of incorporate what you want the overall grid to look like, especially on Instagram, because the grid is basically your gallery. It's your showcase. This is your best of the best. So kick out a lot of those pictures that really aren't on brand. Try and make it look clean so that when someone goes there, they instantly know what you do. They know that, okay, when like you said, all my stuff has the brand colors in it. When it shows up in the feed, even though, let's say, it's just me sitting at a computer, but the background is that pinkish color that I have, like they know, okay, well, this is Katie's post. So they automatically know that it's your post when it shows up in the feed, and that they want to engage with it and read the caption or see what else that I have to offer. So having a overall strategy behind your entire posting is so important. So if for me, it's having graphics that are in my brand colors with tips, and then I also have a professional photo shoot done with all my branded photos and different people that I have on my team with me, so they're in the photos too. And those are the types of photos that you need to be showing in your feed. If you're a home organizer, showing your afters and your befores, not your before afters, your afters and your befores, showcasing some of the best stuff that you've done, so that people again see it as that gallery, not just one of my clients is a home organizer, and she was posting her befores and her afters, so everyone was seeing all these junky pantries. And
I was going to say, I never heard of that's the first time I hear after and before instead of before and after. Why is that?
Because, well, when you look at the feed, you're going to see this beautiful reorganized pantry with the clear containers, everything's labeled, everything looks amazing in the feed. And then,
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and then the carousel, so you'll have multiple images, and so you'll have that after photo as your gallery photo, the one that everyone's going to see. And then they want to see what the pantry looked like originally. Then you say, hey, swipe to see the transformation that happened in this, this pantry, and, include an arrow, and then people can swipe through and be like, holy cow, I can't believe that this is what it looked like. But again, showcase the best of the best in that feed.
That's how the meme accounts do it. They get your attention and then it's like swipe next. And then I've also heard of people for their Instagram accounts. Well, I'm assuming that the way you do it, you guys prepare everything in Photoshop or Canva and something like that. So the color palettes are the same on each picture, and then you have them ready to go. Then do you guys, I'm assuming you use something like Later to schedule the post out so they get, post automatically. And then do you guys, I've heard, like, that's the other thing that I heard that I didn't find this out until like literally a couple of days ago when I was talking to one of my friends. Like, you can actually go on Etsy and buy filters to use on Instagram and pictures. Did you know that? I had no idea.
Yeah, and I don't use a ton of filters with my stuff. Lightroom is great for, like I said, the home organizer and a lot of realtors. I recommend getting the Lightroom app, because all you got to do is just swipe and it makes it pop. It really makes everything nice and white and lightens up everything in the room, hence Lightroom. So Lightroom is a great tool. I use Canva. The designer that is on my team, she's incredible in Photoshop, and sometimes there's things that just can't be done in Canva. I'll ask her to what I'm kind of envisioning. She'll create it in Photoshop and then upload it to Canva so that I can still work it as needed.
My graphic designer hates me.
Canva.
My graphic designer hates me because I'm the worst. And listen, he's been with me for so many years that we're friends and everything, but it's like, I tell him, like, this is what I need. but I'm the worst when it comes to giving out details because I assume he already knows what I like. And then he comes back with something like, dude, what are you doing? This is nothing like I want it. And then he gets mad at me, and he deserves to get mad at me because I get it. He can't read my mind, but for some reason I think he can. So that's the other thing. If you hire a designer, be very specific with what you need.
No, in hiring a designer, if you decide to do your social media yourself, having that kind of designer that in your back pocket is incredible and so valuable, because even if you are still creating your own graphics in Canva, if there is something that's if you want to create a new stellar ad, or if you have a flyer going out and you're like, we need something that's really going to pop, that's going to be our best of the best, having a designer on your team or in your back pocket to use for occasions like that is invaluable, and especially if you can find a quality one. So I mean, yeah, Canva's great because especially if you pay I think it's like $110 a year, it's worth every penny, and you can keep your branded colors in there and just choose that. You can keep all your logo versions in there, and you can really move and create some amazing templates in Canva that are on brand.
So, okay, so that's the Instagram side of things. Oh, you know what? The other thing I was going to ask you, because the way I used to grow accounts on Instagram back in the day, I don't even know if it's the same way anymore. How do you recommend growing Instagram accounts? Like back in the day, it was like, okay, niche down the account. So if you're selling a hair product, your feed should be all hair related stuff. And then, you have your what are they called? The social buttons with a call to action to your website or whatever. And then the way you did it was you post using 8 hashtags, if I remember correctly, a maximum of 8 hashtags, because if you use all 30, you get shadow banned. And then depending on, go to the explore page, see what's trending, and look at the tags that they're using. And then based on the data that you get, that you can see in the analytics inside the business account, you try to catch the wave when most people are on using those hashtags. And then the other thing that a lot of people did, they used to create DM groups and give each other shout outs. And that's how they grew their accounts. Is that how you do it anymore? Is that still a thing, or has it changed, massively? Because it's been years since I've done it personally.
So, well, I'm going to circle back really fast on the content calendar scheduler. Like you asked if I use later, and I've used just about all of the different schedulers out there. The one that I've found to really be a game changer and has a great user interface is a one that's not that many people have heard of. It's called Loomly, Loomly, and okay. It's great because you can go in there and later is great just for Instagram, but Loomly, you can do everything. You can do Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Google My Business, all of them. And I know at the beginning of your show, I said, don't just post on everything and be mediocre at it. But what you can do is they have a step-by-step interface. So in like step 3, you can create the generic content. Like, okay, in this post is going to talk about my podcast. And then in step 4, you can have a certain graphic to go on Facebook, and then a certain video to go on Instagram. That's the full length video on YouTube, and you can change how all the content's going to be pushed out for each platform, and customize the messaging, customize the time of day that it's going to go out. It's a great platform to schedule your posts from, and it gives you a lot of data and insights. That's one of the better ones on the market that I've seen. Especially for the price of it, it allows you a lot of options. Back to growing your Instagram account, you're allowed up to 30 hashtags, and using geo-targeting. So make sure when you are posting, tag where you're located. So like for me, I tag Denver or Littleton all the time because I'm trying to put myself out there in front of the Denver audience. And the hashtags that you need to use are so important, and making sure that they're on brand and that the hashtags you're using are for people that you want to be seeing your content. So I mean, if I do hashtag social media tips, if I'm giving social media tips, it makes sense. But the majority of the people that are seeing that social media tip post are other social media strategists, other people in the social media world, because they're searching for tips. So not very many business owners or real estate agents are going to be using hashtag real estate tips, or I'm sorry, social media tips. Now, real estate tips, that would be a great hashtag for me to use, because if I'm trying to gain another realtor coaching client to teach, because I know that that's a hashtag that they're familiar with. So going through and using the right hashtags, using a geolocation. And one thing that I do is look to see who's recently engaged with my posts. So I'll do a post and I try to always ask some sort of a question to make people engage with it. And someone will engage and I'll be like, oh, okay, so this person is a realtor, sure enough. You know, like, hey, thanks so much for, I'm so glad you enjoyed the podcast. What was your biggest takeaway? Asking them another question. Then they say, oh, well, I loved your tip on using Loomly as a scheduler. Okay, yeah. And then from there, I can take the conversation into the DMs, say like, yeah, so have you heard of using a schedule before? What are you using to plan out your post? And they're like, oh, I'm not doing anything. Well, why not? Let me teach you how to do that and give you your time back, so that you are planning your posts with intent. You're not just like, I haven't posted on social media for a while, I need to do it.
That's a great advice right there, especially, people who are trying to figure it out. You also do blogging as well. So you create all the content for these companies besides just the teaching.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So in blogs, so we do it for my own company, and then just trying to have that blog content. Again, like you said at the beginning of the show, having that type more content that you can give out to people, whether it's through a podcast and a video stream, and then also turning that into a blog of some sort. The more ways that you can get content to people is better, because then if they are a reader, let's say they're not really into YouTube, but they love reading blogs. If you're still having blogs on your website, in addition to having a YouTube channel, you're finding a way to get in front of your ideal client.
So when you're setting up these blogs for these businesses, whether it's local or nationwide, do you have a certain process that you follow to find out what's trending as far as like topics go? Like, what's the name of that tool? I forget. Bazumo or something like that. That will give you like trending articles and stuff like that. Do you follow a process like that, or you create it around what they do?
So I have a couple different methods that I use to find blog topics. And one is just Google. You taking the Google search bar, and if I just type what is social and then seeing what the top 10 suggestions that Google gives me. Obviously, Google's giving me those suggestions. Like, so what is social media for business? What is a social media scheduler? Like, so let's say those are like the top five, some of the top five results from Google. Then those are what I'm going to write my blogs on. If someone said, like, Facebook just put out the new interface, so why did Facebook do? And then it'd be like, why did Facebook do a new layout? Or when was the last time Facebook did a new layout? Or so those are, Google will tell you what people are searching, and if you just kind of start the question, Google will give you the answer. And that's a great way to find ways of trending blog topics. Another way that I've found a great way of searching for blog topics is on Amazon through their Kindle bookstore, and trying to find different books that are relevant to what the topic is that I'm going to be writing about, and seeing what some of the table of contents are, because then that's a great way to go in and see what other people have found value from, because they've written a whole book on it.
That's good. I like that one. I never heard of that one. That's a good one. The Amazon one. That's a golden nugget right there. If you take anything from that podcast, this is it. Yeah, I do. Well, I don't write blogs, but if I had to like find out content, obviously, like when I'm searching for like e-commerce products to see what's trending and stuff like that, you use like Google Trends, and then Amazon as well. There's tools that will tell you what's selling, what's not selling, and stuff like that. So it's the same process. Listen, Katie, we're out of time. We've been going for almost 45 minutes already. Holy crap. That went by fast. Listen, thank you so much for coming on. If you're in the Denver area and you want Katie to take your local business to the next level, please shoot her a message, contact her in the links below. Where can they find you, just so they know if they're listening?
Well, I'm super active on social media. So on LinkedIn, you can find me at Katie Brinkley. On Instagram, next.step.social. And then online on the interwebs, www.nextstepsocialcommunications.com.
Awesome. Guys, check out the links. Reach out to her. You're in the Denver area. You need some help with your social media. Her Instagram looks amazing, by the way. I really like it. And then if you're listening on the podcast, subscribe to YouTube, subscribe, hit that, smash the like button. And I guess I'll see you guys on the next episode. Katie, thank you so much again for coming on.
Thanks for having me.